I kind of begrudgingly respect just the dedication to not getting better at what you do for a living. Just coast through life.
It probably shouldn't even happen.
If you got it, you got to flaunt it, Acid.
You know what? I got a lot of stuff that I don't want to flaunt, so I just keep it to myself.
Jeremy is really big into the used mattresses. I think that's an excellent deal.
He has a used mattress store on the side.
I'm not going to pull the pants down without the pants down cue.
And we found out that Anthony's friends are all 13-year-old boys. Nice.
Clay, how you doing?
Doing a little more poorly after that terrible introduction. I was just fine, to be honest with you.
Hello, sci-fi gangsters. This is the show where we talk about science fiction, comic books, and video games, but really it's just an excuse for me to catch up with my friends and to meet interesting people. I'm Anthony Nadar, media scholar and person who decided to change his camera angle this time. It's reversed. Now it's pointing this way, and you can see my cosplay that I worked on all summer. And obviously, I went to Dragon Con. I also wore it during Halloween, which was weird, I will say. When you walk around the neighborhood in a cosplay, you feel like it's not appropriate. Like I felt self-conscious about wearing that during Halloween. I will say this: I didn't feel as self-conscious when I was just hanging out at the house, passing out candy. That seemed fine, but me just walking around the neighborhood in it didn't really feel. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't as enjoyable as walking around Dragon Con. I felt embarrassed. Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so I have the new camera angle where you can see the cosplay there, and I quickly realized when I changed the camera angle, and as I look at myself in the video here, this is my bad side. Like this is my bad side. There's a reason why I placed the camera on the opposite side, is because this part is like a Phantom of the Opera situation going on here. But anyways, we're today's topic. We're talking about Thanksgiving, because here's the thing. It's the week after Thanksgiving, so it seems very timely that now we're talking about Thanksgiving. But we'll talk about our favorite Thanksgiving food, favorite Thanksgiving hot take, which Jeremy needed an explanation on what that means. But we'll kind of get into that here in a second. But before we begin, this is the cringy part of the show where I have to say, check us out wherever you get your podcasts, right? Because we also play this on podcasts. Give us a review, give us a likes and subscribes on the YouTubes, because we're also on YouTube as well. Let us know what you think. If you want to give us a review, that would help us out a lot. Even if it's a bad review, even if you say, hey, look, I'm not really into this host guy. He's not my cup of tea. That's totally fine. I'm okay with that. I just want to know. I just don't want to talk into the void anymore.
We encourage those kind of comments. Yeah.
Say that again?
So we encourage those types of comments.
That's true, right?
That's right.
Anytime you're hating on...
lash them up, yeah.
Hating on me, it's totally fine. All right, well, very good. But also, let's go ahead and introduce the panel here. We'll start off with the guest for tonight, and that is Noah. Noah, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic, Noah. Now, Noah, in the past, we've had you on several times, and every time we've talked about some sort of billionaire.
Yeah.
Right? That's always been the topic. Today, that's not what we're doing.
I know. I don't even know what to do. I've just prepared myself for billionaires whenever you text me. So,
I mean, do billionaires even eat turkey and dressing? I mean, who knows?
No, none of the billionaires I know eat turkey and dressing.
Yeah.
No.
Noah knows a lot of billionaires.
Yeah.
Didn't you like meet Howie Mandel one time, or that was the big?
Yeah, I don't think he's a billionaire, but yeah, he like followed me on Twitter and was telling me how funny I am. I was like,
oh,
cool, thanks.
Nice.
Well, fantastic, excellent. Well,
I like that.
That's my only claim to fame.
That's what you're gonna tell everybody when you're old and you're like, hey, there's one time Howie Mandel.
Yeah, followed. That's gonna be on my tombstone, like followed by Howie Mandel.
Nice.
And all the young kids will say, who's Howie Mandel?
Yeah, who's that?
This guy will say, who's Howie Mandel?
Do you really not know who Howie Mandel is, Jeremy, or are you just joking?
No, I got no idea.
You know Howie Mandel?
Deal or No Deal, America's Got Talent, Judge.
Deal or No
I've
Deal.
never seen any of these shows, so that's
You never watch Bobby's World? The cartoon?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
So
wow.
Howie Mandel
you-
was actually a pretty famous comedian. Like he did the
Extremely
glove
famous.
thing. Remember, he put the glove on his face and he blew the glove up with his nose. Is
Yeah.
none of this? Wow.
No.
Oh my
You
God,
need to
get out
Google
from
this.
under
You
that
need to Google
rock.
Howie Mandel. Wow.
Well, we learned something about
Breaking news. Jeremy doesn't know who Howie Mandel is.
we learned something about Jeremy today, and that is that he does not know who Howie Mandel. But that's totally fine.
That's fine, yeah.
I thought about talking about Elon Musk and his in his Twitter situation, but then Jeremy might just blow a fuse. I think Jeremy would refuse to talk about Elon Musk. It's his king. Jeremy loves Elon Musk.
I
Probably
mean,
not.
I'm the only person who's completely indifferent to the guy. I don't know him, so he means nothing to me.
There you go. All right, very good, excellent.
He's really
Of course.
rich and he buys things.
Yeah, and I
That's
just
the
don't
running
care.
gag. That's the running gag on the show is that Jeremy loves Elon Musk. Like that's just a running bit that we do here, and it infuriates him. it enrages him. But anyways, okay, we'll move on to Jeremy. Actually, Jeremy, how you doing?
Pretty good. I've been busy. I got home about 15 minutes ago. So just sat down. Yeah, been doing all right, I guess.
All right, very good, excellent. Now, Jeremy, you went to Orlando relatively recently, and I also spent a little bit of time in Orlando during the Thanksgiving holiday with the kiddies. So they took the kids to Orlando. We didn't go in any of the parks, but we kind of did some other things around Orlando. But the good news is I was able to get one of those cookies at Gideon's, and it was fantastic. It's one of my favorite things about Orlando is going to Disney Springs and going to Gideon's. Once again, Gideon's, you have to actually in the morning. You can't even do it ahead of time. That morning of the day that you're going, you have to reserve a spot to go into the store. And every time we go there, we enjoy the cookies and the coffee. The coffee was also very delicious, and I just wanted to kind of share that moment with you, Jeremy.
I agree. It's very
Moment
good.
shared.
That moment has been shared as Jeremy stares at me with a blank face. Moving on to the producer of the show, Acidtrain. Acid, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Just monitoring the Auburn High state championship situation. I told Anthony earlier, I'm actually on call, so I've got my radio in case anything happens. I might have to jet. I doubt I will, but we'll see. But Auburn High's losing pretty bad right now. It's, first quarter, and they're already down 3 touchdowns. So it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
If you are, obviously 3 of us here live in Auburn, and I drove Victor to basketball practice, and on the way home, traffic was a nightmare. So everyone is enjoying the state championship there. Didn't even know that Auburn High was in the state championship until this morning. So that's always fun.
I didn't even know Auburn had a high school. I thought it was just a college.
So I think every town has a high school.
Oh,
Just
yeah, I
about.
guess that makes sense.
Yeah, there's Auburn High, and obviously there's Opelika High School as well. Well, very good. Excellent. Well, let's go ahead. So before we get to our Thanksgiving segment, let's go ahead and catch up. That's one thing that we do every episode here. We catch up with each other. I'll go ahead and begin. For me, that's kind of a bittersweet moment. For Jeremy, you know this, but maybe the rest of you don't know that I recently received the Provost Dissertation Fellowship at Georgia State, which means I no longer have to teach as part of my assistantship or do any other research thing. I can just write my dissertation, and it's completely, I get money just to write my dissertation, which is fantastic. And because of that, I taught my probably what's going to be my last class at Georgia State. So it was kind of an interesting moment for me because as I've mentioned multiple times on this show, I really enjoy teaching at Georgia State. I love the students there. I love Atlanta, and I love the classes that I'm able to teach. Obviously, my full-time job is at Auburn University, but I also teach at Georgia State, and I really enjoy the students. So it's kind of sad. I had to sort of take some things away from my cubicle. I have a little cubicle situation there. Went ahead and just took it because I don't really know when I'll be back on campus. I'm pretty sure I'll go once or twice throughout the semester to do whatever I need to do. Yeah, so I kind of sort of packed up my things, taught my last class at Georgia State. Once again, Georgia State, it's where I teach sort of what I call my fun classes. So I taught comic book studies, or I should say comic book to film adaptation is what I taught this semester. I've taught video game studies. I've taught film classes there. So this is my last class at Georgia State. Probably, unless I take some sort of adjunct work in the future, which I'm probably not going to do, to be honest with you. It was kind of interesting.
So all of Mr. Denar's students at Auburn University, what he's trying to say is that he hates your guts and he prefers his Georgia State students, is what he's trying to tell you.
I love my Auburn students. I love teaching public speaking. Right, that is, I enjoy teaching the class. My Auburn students are fantastic, especially this semester. I've had really good classes this semester at Auburn. But in terms of my expertise, in terms of my research expertise, I'm definitely more towards digital media studies. So yeah, actually, I'll miss it. Well, very good. That's kind of what's new with me. Noah, what's new with you?
So I got a bird.
Okay.
He's so cute. His name is Turk, and he is a turquoise Indian ringneck parrot. And he is so freaking adorable. And I love him very much. But yesterday, he gave me a kiss for the first time. So now he just gives kisses.
Does he talk?
So he can talk, but he doesn't talk. So but he's still a baby.
Not yet.
Yeah, he's still a baby. He's still learning.
So what's the first word gonna be? What do you think?
So if I don't know, probably peekaboo, either peekaboo or no.
You could make the first word be Elon Musk. That would be And then Elon Musk would follow you on Twitter and be like, "What a cute bird you have." And
you know what?
Another claim to fame you could do.
He's he looks very similar to the Twitter bird. He's like
there you
go. He's like the same color, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more turquoise, but he's super cute, and I'm like absolutely in love with him. Which is why I'm not in my normal room. I usually am in my office doing these, but he's in my office and he's asleep. So
you don't want to wake up the poor little bird.
No.
What made you want to get a bird, if you don't mind me asking that question?
So I saw this girl on TikTok,
Sure.
and she had this bird. This little bird just came up to the camera, and he just gave the camera a kiss, and he said, "Thank you, baby." And I was like, I have to have that bird. And so I went and got that bird.
So she stole that bird from that.
Stole the bird.
No, I didn't steal that bird, but I got one exactly like it. But I was
camera.
So
Nice.
Have you gotten food for the bird? Have you done a lot of research? How are you handling that situation?
So I make food for the bird. So
you throw it up in the bird's mouth?
No, yes, I do every yeah. No, so I make his food. So it's like all of little like ancient grains and vegetables and all that stuff, and I make it for him, and I give it to him every single morning. He has like little pellets, just like a little rabbit would have for a night. So it's a lot of work having a bird.
I believe it. Of course.
He has a cute little skateboard, and he has a little bowling alley, like a bowling lane where he can like knock the ball down in the pins. And he has a little grocery cart. And
you say he has these things like he came with them, like it was like his things. You bought
his talents are shopping at Walmart, bowling.
You bought him these things.
It's so cute though. He also has little sneakers that he unties, they look like Converse, and I'll tie the shoestrings and then he'll untie them. It's really cute. Nice.
All right, well, very good. It seems like Noah's having a good time with her new bird, forcing the bird to do tricks for her. A little animal abuse going on there, but that's totally fine, right? It's all good. We'll go ahead and move on to Jeremy. Jeremy, what's new with you?
So between
the travel and work travel. I've been trying to play the new God of War game a little bit.
Ooh.
It is it's a good game. It is kind of more the same as expected. I will say that it is they dumb down the puzzle situation to an infuriating level. So part of God of War was always, it's a hack and slash game, but there was story and puzzles. That it was sort of the three things that made it up. And now in the new game, you can't even like try to solve the puzzle on your own. Like you'll run up to it and your companion will immediately tell you how to solve the puzzle. I don't understand why they did it, and it's really infuriating to the point of where you almost want to mute the TV while you're playing. But yeah, it's other than that, it's a good game. It's very pretty. There's a little bit of graphics glitches. It's been out for about a month, but I'm sure they'll patch those pretty soon.
And we know Jeremy loves his puzzles, right? You mess with his puzzles. One time I messed with one of his Sudokus, and he lost it. He lost it on me because he loves his puzzles. This is not true, by the way. I just made that up.
Yeah, I mean, some people need more stimulation in life than just shooting things in Halo.
Look, I love stimulation. I'm always talking about being stimulated. I do love stimulation. Moving on to Acidtrain. Acid, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. Not a whole lot going on, just work. Countdown to the holiday season. Got 12 more days of work, 12 more work days. So we got the big board on countdown at work, so everybody's excited. This weekend we'll put up the old Christmas decorations and get the tree and all the stuff. So we'll do all that, and yeah, so just planning, getting ready for the holidays. Just getting ready.
Well, very good, excellent, and of course, I have 2 more weeks of the semester at Auburn. I have the remainder of this week. Then we have finals week next week, and then going to Puerto Rico for the first time. So I'll be going to Alinda's homeland. Yeah, so that'll be a pretty fun experience for us.
You gonna be down there the whole time?
We won't be down there the whole time. It'll just be a couple days.
Oh, okay. 2 weeks in Puerto Rico.
All right. Yeah, that's true. Well, a couple days. Oh, anyways, let's go ahead and get to our topic for today. We're talking about Thanksgiving. Once again, very timely, right? A week after Thanksgiving, that's our topic. And that is, so kind of how do we'll handle this based on the text message that I gave you. It seems like everybody was on board with what I was talking about. So the first round here, we're just going to talk about, our favorite Thanksgiving food? Is that what it's going to be? Favorite Thanksgiving food? All right, so I guess this kind of counts as my hot take, but I'm not a big fan of Thanksgiving food. So I'm not a fan of turkey. I don't like stuffing. Oh, I hate stuffing. I'm not a big fan of mashed potatoes, primarily because I feel like people get way too cute with mashed potatoes, especially on Thanksgiving, right? They get way too cute with their mashed potatoes. Not a big fan. Don't like cranberry sauce. So once again, in terms of Thanksgiving, not a big fan, but I will say this. I do like a honey baked ham. I do like the honey baked. So if we are going to do some sort of Thanksgiving thing, I do like a ham. I like like a sweet glaze on that honey baked ham. This kind of brings me back to when I was a radio DJ. We actually had to do remotes at Honey Baked Ham because the owner of the radio station owned Honey Baked Ham. So we had to go there and do it for free and just sit there for a couple hours at Honey Baked Ham and just do remotes. Like, oh, I'm here at Honey Baked Ham, and come get some hams. Like, we actually had to do that every Thanksgivings. But I will say this, I do like a Honey Baked Ham.
Now, and this is probably going way off topic, but all these radio stations do remotes, and you have the radio background. So why go to the place and not just sit in the studio and sponsor it every time a song stops? Like, oh, this half hour is sponsored by a Honey Baked Ham. Go on down there. There's a guy named Willis, and he's going to give you a ham, or whatever.
Do you want like the
Why
sales
go?
version of this, or do you want like, I guess because we used to bring the van and we have lights on the van and we would turn on the lights, so when you drove by you saw the radio station van there. And
Oh,
then of course every break I'm there at Honey Baked Ham, of course I talk to people, right? I'm a showsman.
oh, so you had to talk to people. I got you.
I did talk to people there at Honey Baked Ham.
Okay.
But some of those
All right.
remotes, not that
That's
fun. Anyways. Oh, very good. Actually, by the way, Honey Baked Ham, if you
Hang-
go there
hang
just
on.
for like lunch, it looks like Acid has a very important call. He's got a bus situation. Maybe he'll find out if the wheels on the bus do go round and round. Maybe he'll get back to us. So, thank you, Noah. Thank you so much for that response. But yeah, very good.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so Noah, what's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
So I don't like Thanksgiving. I don't like Thanksgiving food at all. So I would say that the best Thanksgiving that I've ever had was an Italian one where we just had like lasagna and like it was like an Olive Garden Thanksgiving basically. There was tons of pastas and like steaks and whatever. That was like the best Thanksgiving I've ever had. I don't like turkey. I don't like mashed potatoes. I hate stuffing. All that stuff. Like it's just gross. It's like I'm not a fan. I also don't like Cracker Barrel, so it's like Cracker Barrel food.
Just bring that Cracker Barrel randomly. By the way, side note.
But Thanksgiving reminds me of Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway.
I actually have a similar sort of like opinion on Thanksgiving in terms of, and we'll kind of get this into our Thanksgiving traditions. Our favorite Thanksgiving tradition is that I actually enjoy not eating Thanksgiving food on Thanksgiving. Like I typically like to eat either Puerto Rican food or Cuban food, like some sort of Latin food on Thanksgiving. So whenever I think of Thanksgiving in my head, I always think of Cuban or Latin food. But well, yeah, we'll kind of get into that once we get to our favorite Thanksgiving traditions. But seems like Noah, me and you are on the same page. We're not big fans of Thanksgiving food. Some people love it. Some people love stuffing, but it's gross, right? It's stuffing.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Jeremy, what do you think?
So I like when you say Thanksgiving food, nothing really comes to mind because my family we don't do traditions. Like we don't do like these foods on these dates kind of thing. And I honestly don't know where all these things came from because yeah, it's just odd that there's a set kind of food that is tied to a particular holiday. But I mean, I enjoy, properly cooked turkey that isn't dry. I don't know if I ever had stuffing.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about stuffing that goes inside a turkey?
Not necessarily. Sometimes people make stuffing outside of it, right? So they make their own. I think a lot of people have like their stuffing recipe, and they always want to say, "Oh no, my stuffing is different, right? This is a special." And then you eat it, and you're like, "This is stuffing, just a little bit different."
If this is what in the South we call dressing,
Yeah.
Yes.
then okay.
Dressing. Yeah.
Yeah, I take it or leave it. I don't particularly like it, but I don't I wouldn't throw it back in someone's face if they gave it to me. Until you said it a second ago, I had no idea mashed potatoes were supposedly a Thanksgiving food.
Really?
I didn't either. We don't have mashed potatoes.
But I like mashed potatoes. I like pecan pie if that's a Thanksgiving food. So I like well cooked food regardless of what it's tied to. I guess is the moral of the story.
No, save me here. Mashed potatoes, right? When you think of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, mashed potatoes.
And gravy, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like then there's always like two different kinds of gravy. They'll have like the brown gravy and the white gravy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, cornbread, stuffing, or dressing.
Yeah, cornbread, stuffing, yes.
These are things I eat year round. So
yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Green bean casserole.
Green bean. I always gotta have a green bean casserole, and no, thank you.
Never made it. No one in my family's ever made it.
Really?
You're kidding.
That's fascinating.
That's crazy.
So my family made it, and then of course, like Linda's family makes it, or they make some version of it, and then I've had it throughout the years. There's always some more sort of green, like cousins going to the cousin's house for Thanksgiving. There's a green bean casserole.
Like someone might have green beans, but it's just green beans.
I have those on. I have those during the year as well.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, very good, excellent. It seems like Jeremy, he loves Thanksgiving food, just not on Thanksgiving. That's fantastic. Huh? He loves his dressing. He can't get enough. The soggy bread. He loves it. Let's go ahead and move on to Acidtrain. Acid, what's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Okay, so yeah, we don't do the mashed potatoes. We do have sweet potato casserole.
Sweet potato, okay, that's also very common. Yes.
Yeah, we do have sweet potato casserole. And it's got, it's got or yams, whatever you want to call them. And the pecan mixture on top. And then I also add marshmallows on top of that. So you have the sweet potato base and then the pecan crunch and marshmallows. So we do that.
Jeremy, are you going to say that you've never heard of this before on Thanksgiving? You never heard of a sweet potato casserole?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you, Jeremy.
I didn't hear you say Jeremy. I mean, so like I've seen it around holidays, but like everything you're mentioning here is also things I've seen at Christmas or Easter. Yeah.
Well, we know. I mean, I think that Christmas really is Thanksgiving 2.0 in terms of the food.
It is.
Right?
It's the same food.
You just offended, half the world's population by saying that, but okay.
I wouldn't say 2.0. It's the same food.
It's the same food.
It's the exact same meal. It's just 1 month later. But so we have the turkey. We get a whole turkey, and I did a survey, a very short survey at work and at church and that kind of stuff, just to ask around who actually goes out, buys a whole turkey, dresses it up, does the basting and all this stuff, cooks it in the oven for hours and hours and hours, and nobody I asked does this anymore. They either go to a honey baked ham place and get ham and turkey sliced already. They just get turkey breasts or turkey legs or whatever, and they just bake them. But nobody gets a whole turkey. I was kind of disappointed.
Well, Linda did the whole turkey during our Friendsgiving thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we do a whole turkey. We do mac and cheese as well, but not just any mac and cheese. It's homemade mac and cheese, so it's homemade pasta, everything's from scratch. So
also very common is a homemade mac and cheese, right, Jeremy? What do you think, Jeremy? Is that also?
Sure. Yeah.
He's like, that's Monday night.
Not homemade mac and cheese though.
So like you actually make the elbow macaroni?
We don't do elbow macaroni. We do shells.
But like actually.
Yes. Yeah, we've got a pasta maker and stuff. We make pasta throughout the year. We do lasagna and spaghetti and fettuccine and all kinds of stuff. So.
Yeah, like those. I've seen the attachments for to make those.
Yeah, like 4 years ago, I bought all the stuff. It was so expensive, but I bought it for my wife for Christmas, and we can do all this, so we do that. And what else do we? Oh, cranberry sauce, and the only cranberry sauce that matters. Thanksgiving, it's the cranberry sauce that comes out of the can. Okay,
the ocean spray.
Yes, just plop it out of the can and slice it. That's all you need.
Very common opinion, and of course, my opinion on the cranberry sauce is no, thank you. It doesn't matter what kind of cranberry sauce is it. I'm not into it.
I don't want a lot of cranberry sauce, but I get like 2 slivers, 2 circular slivers of cranberry sauce, and I get a half a fork full of dressing. And a little bit of cranberry sauce, and that's the bite.
You shove it up your ass.
No, but that's the bite. That's the dressing bite. Dressing and cranberry sauce. And then we alternate between like yeast rolls and the croissant rolls, the Pillsbury croissant rolls. So we'll do that. Green bean casserole, of course. What else did we have? I want to say that. Oh, Brussels sprouts. But it was a Brussels sprout mixture, so fresh Brussels sprouts with bacon, um, and it was bacon jam, and it was baked in the oven. It's really good.
That sounds pretty good actually.
But favorite Thanksgiving food that I've got to have it every Thanksgiving is the sweet potato casserole. Got to have it.
Sweet potato casserole. Very good. Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our second topic here, and that is, or theme, I guess you could say, whatever, is what's your favorite Thanksgiving tradition? Jeremy has no traditions. He doesn't believe in tradition. But a Thanksgiving, for me, actually, Linda might think that that this is not true, but so I actually enjoy going to Miami every Thanksgiving. So one thing that's sort of a tradition in our family, right, the missus and the little ones, is we drive down to Miami to visit Linda's family on Thanksgiving. I always enjoy it, although there are the drive to Miami with two young ones can always be sort of stressful situation, right? So the 10-hour drive. But once we get there, other stressful stuff in terms of family stuff, like, having to go to all the different family gatherings and everything like that can sometimes be a little stressful. But for the most part, I enjoy being in Miami during Thanksgiving. Obviously, great weather, or I should say hot weather. It was actually pretty hot in Miami this year. But one of my favorite things to do in terms of traditions is I love to go to a Cuban restaurant during the Thanksgiving week, because that's one of my favorite foods is Cuban food, and Cuban food in Miami is phenomenal. So I went to Casa Havana, which is my favorite place, and it was a little underwhelming. Wasn't crazy about Casa Havana this time. Then we went to a new place that I Yelped. It was called Havana Harry's, and it was phenomenal. Jeremy, I sent you pictures. It was phenomenal. Oh my, black beans and rice. I had an espresso to begin with, which I'm not a really big fan of espresso because I like my coffee. I like to be able to sip it. But I had espresso. I had black beans and rice. I have tostones. I had some lechon. Oh man, it was fantastic lechon. And of course, Cuban bread as an appetizer. We all had. Victor loved the Cuban bread. He couldn't get enough. But yeah, it was a fantastic. So that's one of my favorite Thanksgiving traditions is driving to Miami. Linda, once again, she would say that I complain too much about the drive, and I do complain a lot during the trip to Miami and during like the Thanksgiving time that we're there.
So are you against planes, or is it just too pricey? Just don't want to deal with kids on a plane?
Well, this year, man, it's kind of all of that situation, right? But this year, plane tickets are ridiculous now, right?
They?
It was
haven't looked in a while.
Significantly cheaper to drive. Also, she wanted to stop in Orlando, which actually kind of added to the sort of a more stressful situation because when you go to Orlando with kids, young kids, that can be that's not exactly the smoothest situation. And of course, it was cold in Orlando when we were there. It was cold and it was rainy. So, but yeah, very good. We're going to move on to Noah. Favorite Thanksgiving tradition?
So for Thanksgiving, we usually go to like my stepdad's house, and like I guess my favorite tradition is like my sisters and I will all get together. And my little sister's like obsessed with like TikTok and all that stuff, so she'll always like teach us to dance, and then we'll have to do the TikTok dance. Yeah. And then like the kids, like I don't do kids, but I do have nieces and nephews, and they'll play like with the trains and stuff, and then we'll pretend to be interested in what the kids have to say.
Oh, pretend to be interested.
Yeah, that's a pretty balloon. Cool. But no, so it's a lot of fun. And like obviously like being in the house that I grew up in is like, really cool. And then we'll look at pictures and stuff, but we don't have and then the best part I guess is drawing names for Christmas, so we'll do that, so we'll know who's getting good gifts and who's not getting good gifts.
Okay, well, very good, excellent. Sounds like a great tradition there. Ignoring the kids and getting Christmas presents for your members. Well, fantastic. Excellent. All right. Jeremy, what favorite Thanksgiving tradition?
Yep, you're muted.
Oh no, Jeremy, we lost you. I don't know if you're muted or we just can't, and your mic get unplugged. Your mic knows that you have no Thanksgiving traditions, so it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, that's what it was.
What's the point of listening to him? I don't know what happened to you, Jeremy.
Hello.
There you go.
Maybe.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You're just very low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know. I don't know if it's Zoom or what. But yeah, so we don't really do traditions. I will say that we normally have it at one of my uncle's houses, and one year we had it at a different uncle's house, and he wanted everybody to go around and say what they were thankful for. And
I hate that.
we refused to ever have another gathering at his house ever again. So we don't really do that as a family, which I'm very happy about. And yeah.
Why is that, Jeremy? Why is that so cringy? Because I think we all hate that, right? We hate going.
I can't stand that. Just the way I can't stand, and this kind of goes into that. So if you're a churchgoer, right after all the songs have played, the band will say, "All right, and now everyone turn to your people around you and say hello." I hate that too.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
That is the most
Say hello to
cliche,
someone next to
cringy,
you.
and we do it, and I hate it. I can't stand
I
it.
hate that too. Oh my god, it's the worst. Of course, I always do like the whole I'll turn left and right. I'm like, oh, I can't see anybody. Like there's like clearly people next to me, and I pretend that I was like, oh no, I gotta sit down. There's like someone right next to me. But yeah, Jeremy, keep going.
No, well, I think anyone who knows me would know I would hate that, regardless of my other family members' feelings about it. But yeah, it's one, it's nobody's business. If I told you what I was actually thankful for, you wouldn't invite me back, which I would largely be okay with.
That should be your approach. You should just say something so obscure that it makes everyone uncomfortable. They don't even finish the game, and everyone leaves early.
Yeah. So I guess
and then you have something else to be thankful for.
So what is it? What are you thankful for that Elon Musk is allowing QAnon back on Twitter? Is that what you're thankful for?
Sure.
All right. Very good. Excellent. Bringing back Elon Musk. That's what we call a callback. Noah, you know about this, right?
Yeah, I love that. That was good.
Thank you. That was very generous of you.
2 points to Gryffindor. Yeah,
that
was good.
Acid, what do you got?
Good tradition. Started when our first Thanksgiving. It's just me and my wife and her family. She cooked. We invited everybody over, whatnot. We've done that for the last 18 years, and it's so nice not to have to go anywhere. Like I love not traveling at Thanksgiving. Like it just makes things I love it. We have this understanding. Like she'll cook the entire meal. We'll sit down and eat, and then when we're done, they will all go into the living room. The in-laws, like everybody goes into the living room. I get to sit in the kitchen and clean it, and not have to listen to any of that crap that's going on in the living room. So I will sit in the kitchen cleaning, washing dishes, all that good stuff, getting it cleaned up for like 2 hours. I just draw it out. I'm just like, oh, yeah, and they'll leave while I'm still doing it. Y'all have a good one. I love it. It's so good. So that's my tradition.
You always have to have the excuse, right? The excuse to get out of something, right? For me,
and that's it. And they always go, "Oh, you need some help?" Nah, I got this. Don't you worry about it. It's my gift to you. Enjoy your time in the living room talking about Black Friday sales papers and what your church revival is going to be next week. Y'all handle that. So.
My excuse has always been, oh, I got to get some writing done. I got this dissertation. I just got to write some stuff. Can I go somewhere and write? That's always been my excuse. It's also true. I also need to do it, but very good.
And then he goes into the bathroom and plays on his phone.
That's true. I also do that as well. Very good. Excellent. Thanksgiving traditions is what we just talked about. Anything on the group chat? And of course, when you say no one's listening, that's going to make me very depressed. But
no.
Well, very good. Do we want to do the hot take situation? Because I feel like we've already been kind of mentioning some hot takes about Thanksgiving. For me, my hot take is that I do not like Thanksgiving food. I don't really like anything. So for me, I do have an interesting story though. So one Thanksgiving, we actually had it here in Auburn. It was a couple of years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. And now all the family came here, and kind of like extended family came as well. And once again, both me and Alinda both don't really like Thanksgiving food. So we're like, why don't we make our own sort of like Latin Thanksgiving meal? Like, so we
Put a
made
twist on it. Yeah.
Yes, we did lechon, we did tostones, we did the whole thing. We did black beans and rice. Like we did the whole shebang, right? It was great. And I remember I'm not gonna say who it was, but an extended family member came with her family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And stayed. And I remember it was like 2 days in, like it was like maybe the day before Thanksgiving, right? So it was like Wednesday. And we're kind of talking about, this is what we're going to have for Thanksgiving. And, we were kind of all excited about it. And everybody else in the room, like we had a big family gathering. Everyone was like, oh, wow, this is awesome. Like, this is great. This is going to be a different kind of Thanksgiving. This is like, we're talking about what we're going to plan. And this one extended family member and her family looked at us like we just killed their kids in front of them and said, wait, you're not going to have a turkey on Thanksgiving? Legitimately infuriated this person that we were not going to have a turkey on Thanksgiving. And in fact, they went out and bought a turkey and forced us to cook a turkey for them. This is a true story. This is
Wow.
True. Oh yeah. And when I say forced, what I mean is they said, like they were kind of like, we can go get a turkey. Well, why don't we go get? Hey, we'll get the turkey and we'll cook a turkey with it. Like, so it became a whole situation. And let's just say that person will never be invited to our house ever again. But that's weird.
Kind of messed up.
Can we agree that's weird? Like, if you went to somebody else's house for Thanksgiving and they said, "Hey, look, we're gonna do something a little different this year," like, would you make a big scene about not?
Even if I absolutely hated the idea, you would never know about it.
Yeah, same for me.
Like if I totally just was against it, you would never know. I would smile, put on the good face, enjoy the company. May not have enjoyed the food, but you never know about it.
Yeah,
but that sounds really good. Invite me next time you do that. I'll eat that.
I could be at a restaurant and find like a hair in my food, and I won't eat it, but I also will not complain. I will not send it back. Like, I'm just gonna, like, I'm just there. Like, that's so rude to me.
I'll just remove the hair and keep going. I don't care. If I get sick the next day, it just means I get a day off of work.
It's extra protein when you think about it. And
doesn't bother. It was probably mine anyway. So
it was such a weird moment. It was almost like a surreal moment, because I remember being in the room when this person was like making this scene, and I was like, this is not happening, right? Like, we're not going to have to get a turkey for this person. And we did. We ended up doing it. By the way, let me just say this. Our meal that we made, because both me and Alinda, like, if we have time, like, we can cook. Like, we're both very good cooks, and it was a phenomenal meal. Like, it was a phenomenal Thanksgiving meal. So this person missed out.
I hate that.
Yeah, well, very good. All right, so Noah, do you have a hot take?
Yeah, so pretty much the same as yours. Like, I'm not a fan of Thanksgiving food. I think that marshmallows have no business being on top of a vegetable.
It makes them better.
There's just like no room for it in my life.
So good.
And who on earth thought up ambrosia? Why would someone do that? That is like, it just looks gross. And I think that who actually eats that stuff?
So Noah, you're going to have to explain to me what this is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's
I
like
guess it's a good thing we don't know.
it's like a cloudy fruit salad thing, but it's like fruit, like a
Like
fruit
Jell-O?
cocktail.
Like a
But
Jell-O
and it's
salad?
not Jell-O, but it's kind of like Jell-O, but it's like you can't see through it. It's cloudy. Like sometimes it's minty green, sometimes it's like pink. Google it.
Okay.
Is it like a fruit cake?
No,
seen-
it's like a
You
it's
said
like
it,
a
you said it's
casserole.
so it's
Called-
like a salad?
It's called ambrosia.
Sounds like a medical condition.
Yeah, it does.
Look, guys, we can't have Thanksgiving this year because I got ambrosia, and I don't want to spread it. I don't want to spread it to anybody.
It
I
has
need to look this up.
like it's a fruit salad. It has like pineapple. It has like all the
Okay.
fruits, and then it also has marshmallows,
Oh, I see what you're talking
like
about.
coconut. You know what I'm talking about?
I see. Yes, I know what you're talking
Have
about.
you seen
but
it?
I've never had it at Thanksgiving. I have had it.
Oh my God, it's so gross looking. I've never been eaten it before.
I actually enjoy this.
Of course you do. Of course you do. You
I
also
just can't.
It's fruit. It's a fruit salad. I would call that a fruit salad. That's
Okay.
That's what it is.
I can't get over the name. The name to me is terrible. Like it sounds like.
Have you never heard the word ambrosia before?
I have not heard the word ambrosia.
I have not heard that. It sounds like a company that.
But I know who Howie Mandel is.
Sorry, I read books as a kid.
Yeah, I read comic books. Does that count?
It sounds like something you would get if like you have hair loss. Like if you want to grow your hair back, you would put ambrosia.
like, yeah, Howie Mandel should use ambrosia on his.
Definitely. So Jeremy, Howie Mandel is bald, and
Okay.
he's been bald for a long time. That's what we're talking about today. That's today's topic. Is Howie
talking about Howie Mandel now.
Jeremy, what hot take on the Thanksgiving situation?
I was gonna go origins of Thanksgiving, but I'll keep it different.
Okay. Oh God.
So my hot take is that having two major holidays a month apart is entirely just a waste of everything. So because no one really works, right, from Thanksgiving until the New Year, right? Like everyone just slacks, which as a capitalist I find offensive. Also the fact that if you have to get together with your family, it's just too close. And also family get-togethers are overrated. That would be my other hot take. I don't understand, like there's this whole phenomenon of people who have family get-togethers and argue, and there's always drama. I don't get it. Like if you don't get along with your family, just don't be around your family. I don't understand it. But there's always people who get in fights and shoot each other and
Wait, shoot each other?
Yeah, so there was like over Thanksgiving, there were like 4 people in the southeast area anyway that I saw on the news who had been shot over, I'm sure, drunken Thanksgiving arguments.
One family, or
It's
is
because
it
somebody
like
didn't have a turkey. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So family get
I
together.
don't think that's super common though, right?
The shooting, no, probably
Okay.
not. But
In my family.
The arguments and the drama, I don't know what percentage becomes common, but it certainly seems to be prevalent amongst people.
I will say this: politics always comes up at the table for whatever reason. I don't get it, and it's always something that I disagree with. Like it's always something I disagree with. Like because every time I go to Miami, right, someone always brings up something that's like talking about like some sort of conspiracy theory. I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing? And then of course I don't say anything. But yeah, it's a very uncomfortable situation for everybody.
I guess that could be one of the traditions I like, that they just put football on TV and no one talks to each other. So that's probably why we all get along drama free.
I do love football primarily because it does give you an excuse to like be by yourself and just watch the game, right? It's like, oh, we got to watch football. It's a Thanksgiving tradition, and now we don't have to talk to each other. We just sit there and watch football. Right? I get it. Yeah, all right, Acid, go ahead and wrap it up for us here today.
All right,
What's a hot take?
It's a hot take, and I can't stand it. And that is the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Oh,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
And then the dog show afterwards.
No, I like the dog show.
The dog show. So we have Thanksgiving at lunch, so we do the lunch Thanksgiving.
I wish. So by the way, Acid, I'll let you continue.
Yeah.
But that's the way it should be. When we went to Miami, we had a dinner Thanksgiving, and that's miserable. Can we all agree that is having to wait all day? And here's the bad thing about this. By the way, so
we've opened it up, right?
Because here's the thing: if you're gonna have a dinner Thanksgiving, what ends up happening is everybody just eats all the appetizers, and then everyone gets. So this is what happened to me. Like I'll eat all the appetizers and I'll get full on the appetizers. And then by the time dinner comes, like I'm done. I'm full. So I don't eat anything, but please go, Acid.
So we have the lunch. So my wife gets up at like 3 a.m. to put the turkey in, and does that and then comes back to bed, and so I get up, put the coffee on, she's doing all the stuff in the kitchen, and we've got to turn the daggum parade on. The parade has got to be in the background, and what makes it worse is you get the parade, you get the dog show, and then they replay the parade again, and then they replay the dog show again, like 3 times. Like it's on until 1 or something. I don't know. They've replayed it 2 or 3 times. And it's just, and another reason I like to do the dishes right after we eat, because the parade is still going on. I don't mind it being on in the background. That doesn't bother me. But while they're cooking, I usually just come in here, hang out till people start coming over, and then I have to sit there and, again, awkward family things. You have the football game on and nobody talks, which is fine, which is all well and great, but
you always get attacked by a dog.
Yeah, for me, it's the parade. We just have to sit there and watch this stupid parade and watch all these celebrities that I've never heard of before lip sync to some song that they wrote that's Christmas themed or whatever. And then, of course, you get rickrolled every year by somebody. So, and the kids are over it. Like the kids, they're not even in the room. They're just, they don't care about the parade anymore. So
there's always somebody in. Jeremy might disagree with this. But there's always someone in the family who's all in when it comes to the parade. Like they're like, we have to put this thing on and watch it. There's always some family member who's all about it.
Yes.
Jeremy, what do you think? Your thoughts?
We have literally never watched the
parade. So Jeremy,
you have no idea,
Jeremy,
how blessed you are not to have to watch this thing. Okay, it's horrible. It's terrible. Cringy. It's worse than having to go around the table and say what you're thankful for. It's worse than that.
I mean, it's the ones with the big floats and stuff, right?
The only time it gets interesting is if it's real overcast and windy and a float flies off, and that's cool. I hope it blows up in the sky, or they have to shoot it down or something. Like that's kind of fun, but that's only happened like twice.
Jeremy, this is kind of interesting to me. You've never had a Thanksgiving where someone was like, we have to watch the Thanksgiving parade. Like, you never had that experience before?
No, never.
Oh, man. You're so lucky.
You are very lucky.
There's always one person.
I mean, like, how bad could it be? It's just a parade, right?
Yeah, but I
hate parades.
It's just stupid.
It's just like, it's just dumb. It's a huge waste of money. Like, think about what they could be doing with that money, and it's just a huge waste.
You could buy Twitter, right, and then bring back freedom of speech, right? Let's bring back. We weren't able to talk before, but now we can talk. Thanks, Elon.
Freedom of hate.
I mean, I do feel like parades are kind of for the most part, kind of a thing of the past. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, it was a thing. It was a way for a community to provide entertainment to a large number of people, right? Who otherwise wouldn't see something that fun that often. But
But
now
like,
everyone has a dopamine fix, in their pocket with their phone. So it just seems like the entertainment, it can't be a thing that sustains for very long because people just won't care enough.
well, like the city parade, like the Christmas parade is Sunday or whatever, and all it is an hour and a half commercial break. That's all it is, because it's just people in their trucks or their vehicles, and it's their business logo, and they throw candy out. That's it. That's all they do.
Yeah, that's all
That
it
is
is.
all it is, and it's the most worthless thing ever. I hate it.
The Thanksgiving parade is just one of those stupid things that we do just because people love it, just because we've always done it, and that's that's what people are all about. I guess I don't know.
Could you imagine living in New York during the parade every single year? That would kill me.
I couldn't imagine living in New York during like New Year's Eve and
Or-
like
Yeah.
Or
all of
ever.
these things.
Never live in New
Yeah.
York. I like to visit New York. I would never live there.
Well, very good, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of wraps up what we're talking about today. Once again, very timely with this topic, right? We're talking about Thanksgiving a week after Thanksgiving, when that's when everybody really wants to talk about Thanksgiving, right? They want
So
to listen to a podcast that talks about Thanksgiving the week after. But that's what we talked about today. Noah, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, Jeremy and Acidtrain, thanks you once again for being here and being a part of my life, really.
is that what you're thankful for?
I guess so. That's what look, I think what we need to do here is we need to each talk about what we're thankful
No.
for. We're all thankful for. But while we wrap up here, I want to remind everybody that you can always check us out on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. And then, of course, you can always check us out on YouTube as well. But that is the show for today. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye.